Is there one thing you think the Vikings need to work on, a key to victory against the Niners? What do you think?
So we're watching the Niners play right now, and literally just seconds ago, it's in a commercial break right now, but while you were making fun of me, the Niners scored a touchdown, and it's the undrafted free agent rookie that I don't even know his name, but he's the running back that's playing in place of Christian McCaffrey right now.
I think he's on screen right now, number 24.
Number 24, and don't ask me his name off the top of my head because I don't know. But he just scored a touchdown. The Niners are up now 23-7 over the Jets. They're looking pretty good with 7:45 left in the third. I think, to answer your question, the Vikings did a pretty decent job of stopping the run against the Giants. And I think that interior defensive line, Harrison Phillips and Jerry Tillery, I thought they did a nice job. I think that has to continue to be the focal point. I think the other pieces are there with your edge rushers and your linebacking core. I think you got a lot of talent there. I think those two guys in the middle have to be ready to plug some holes and go after some slippery running backs, whether it's this rookie 24 for San Francisco, Christian McCaffrey, whoever they put out there. Deebo Samuel sometimes takes things out of the backfield. You got to be ready for anything against that Kyle Shanahan offense.
Yeah, they're a sneaky and really good offensive team, and it's not just because of one guy, like you said. One thing, and you may have just said this, I kind of spaced out there for half a second, but there's a chance. I mean, right now, McCaffrey's not playing, and Adam Schefter said earlier this evening on the 9th that there's a real chance he doesn't play against the Vikings, which if you remember last year, the Vikings won, but McCaffrey, I believe, had 2 touchdowns, like a rushing and a receiving. He was the main reason the Niners were still in the game.
Wasn't there someone else that was injured in that game, though? I can't remember.
I think they were missing Trent Williams.
That was it.
Yeah, that's it, which is a huge piece, literally and figuratively.
Yep.
To their offense, he's massive, and he's very good at what he does. The Vikings beat the Niners team last year without those two guys, and potentially next week won't face McCaffrey. You got to think even if he does play after missing a game 1 week, he won't be 100%. But like you just said, their other fill-in running back, number 24, he's doing pretty well too. So,
and the Jets have a pretty good defense. Truth be told, I think that's maybe the stronger facet of their team right now. I think the narrative that I'm getting about the Jets is that Aaron Rodgers is really struggling to adapt to
as he throws maybe a pick right there.
Pick right there.
It was a deflected pick. That's crazy. But as you were saying that's crazy that happened.
But I mean, I don't know that the offense in New York is all of a sudden amazing because Aaron Rodgers is healthy and throwing footballs again.
Yeah.
I think it gets better, but I think their defense is definitely strong, and I would argue the stronger unit on that team right now. And so for the 49ers to be up by quite a bit at this point is pretty surprising and maybe a little telling about where the Jets are as a team and where the Niners are as a team week 1.
Absolutely. So, and as we say this, it looks like that interception might have been called back on a defensive penalty here, maybe, although I don't know what I'm talking about because Aaron Rodgers just put a baseball cap on. So I don't know. Anyways, I totally agree with you.
To be fair, we're not listening to the audio of the game. We're just it's on a separate screen and we're watching, trying to
We're live reacting on a podcast that is pre-recorded and everybody is going to listen to like 2 days from now. To be fair, I do that all the time, listen to podcasts that are reacting to something live. Anyways, my key for the Vikings victory, I think you got a great one. Hard to argue against that. You mentioned Ben Lieber earlier. I listened to him. He was on KFAN's Power Trip morning show this morning. I think he is every Monday. But he talked about the Giants game and how Sam Darnold looked not great, but also like specifically Darnold was not accurate. Ben Lieber said there were 3, 4, 5, 6 plays that if Darnold threw a more accurate pass, and it wouldn't have had to be like some highlight reel pass, just a pass that didn't go in the dirt. That game very well could have ended differently. So my key for the Vikings to be able to defend against the Niners is the cornerbacks and the defensive backs. Yeah, Harrison Smith had an interception in the end zone, but that was after a long drive for the Giants. Van Ginkel, he read a play correctly. They did their work in the film room, and he picked off a screen or a quick pass for a touchdown. But the Vikings, as we know, their cornerback room specifically, it's Stephon Gilmore and then maybe Byron Murphy. And then after that, like, yeah, there are names, but there's no Pro Bowlers. There's no elite defense right there. Those cornerbacks need to be able to step it up and hold it against Brock Purdy and the weapons that you were talking about earlier, Samuel and maybe McCaffrey, all those offensive weapons.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that position group specifically was a pretty quiet position group. The cornerback room specifically, not necessarily the safeties. Harrison Smith played a really good game, as he always does. But, yeah, I thought the cornerbacks were pretty quiet against the Giants. And I agree with you that, yeah, they've got to step up and they've got to be able to defend. You got a lot of talent on that Niners offense. You've got Brandon Ayuk, you got Deebo Samuel, you have Christian McCaffrey that can torch you from the backfield, but he can also line up in the slot and catch balls and go nuts. Yeah. So if he's healthy and he's out there, I mean, those guys have to be ready to defend anything.
Absolutely.
So I could not disagree at all with what you've said. So
I guess final thoughts. Yes, we made our picks weeks ago, and we're going to stick by those. But final thoughts right now. If you hadn't made a prediction, you have to make one right now. What do you think?
I think it's close. I think the Vikings still lose. I said that earlier. I'll stand by it. I think it's a nail biter. I think it comes down to the wire. I think we're going to be sweating bullets at the podcast awards. I kind of hope not, because I'd rather be like focused on what we're trying to do there. But you know what? It'll be what it'll be. And yeah. Final score prediction, though, I'll say it's probably going to be like a 28-24 type of thing. I think the Vikings might end up with the ball at the end and have a chance to put it away, and they can't.
All right.
And my reasoning would be I don't know that Sam Darnold has really been in those positions where he's the last one with the ball. He's got to march down. He's got to do the 2-minute drill and score 6, not 3, but 6. It's 24-28. They can't get it done. That's the final score.
Yeah.
And we're going to be like, oh, man, I was so close.
Yeah, I tend to agree with everything you just said. Genuinely, it's hard for me to pick a win against the Niners, especially after still holding on to all the media throughout the offseason saying the Vikings aren't going to do much. And the Niners, they're coming off a Super Bowl appearance, and they've been to a few Super Bowls recently, and the core of their team is still there. Some of them just got big lucrative contracts again. I looked it up, and this is going to taint my prediction here. Yeah, we did previously predict, both of us did, the Vikings to lose this game. I'm still going to say they lose. I still think the Niners are the better team and are going to figure that out. Currently, it looks like the Niners are a 5.5-point favorite over the Vikings. Yeah, I think, what'd you say, 24-28? That's a darn good line right there. I think I'm going to agree with that exact prediction. 24-28 Niners, although I think it might be one of those, the Niners go up pretty big, pretty early, and then the Vikings try to figure things out, but ultimately mount a comeback, but fall just short.
Yeah, hopefully that's not the case, but that's just kind of my realistic expectation.